Hey everyone! In this video today I want to show you guys how to make this super easy and adorable sunflower chain friendship bracelet. This is a pattern that was made by Sodapop that she posted on her Instagram highlights, and I wanted to make a video on this tutorial. So let's just jump right into the tutorial. So to make your sunflower chain, you will need 60 inches of your green strand, 80 inches of your yellow strand, and then 50 inches for your brown strand. And before we get into the pattern itself, we want to make our starting loop. So separate your stem from your other two colors. With your other two colors, you want to take the strand and fold it and find your halfway point. And you can match that up with the two colors. And then you'll do the same with your green strand separately, find the halfway point. And essentially we are just making a threaded loop, but if you want the more technical term, we are making lark's head knots with our stem colored strand. So with your stem, take the loop and put it underneath the halfway point of your other two colors, fold it over that loop, pull it through, and then you'll take the ends, pull that through, and pull tight. And because I'm left-handed, I have to completely situate everything. Now, starting the lark's head knot that way will have your bump be upside down. So if you want to make it more convenient, you can just flip that over so that the bump is now on the top. Now for the amount of knots you need to make, on Sodapop's post she said to make about 7 or 8 forward, backward, and backward, forward knots, but this does have a very small amount of strings, so your ties will not be very long. Like I have this bracelet, for example, they're very small, so the loop doesn't have to be too big, but we can go off of that just to make it easier to follow along on the Instagram post if you wish to. And with the bump on top, you want to first make a 4 shape over your strands, like you're making a forward knot, pull that through, and now with the bump underneath, you will make a P shape, pull that through, make a backward knot, and that is another knot completed in full. So I am going to do that about 4 more times, I would say. Or 6 more times. And then I'm gonna take that, flip it over, so that now we can work up the other half, and doing it this way is just going to make it easier to have the center point for our threaded loop. And this time you can see that our bump is underneath, so we are going to work backwards. You'll make your P shape first and pull that through, and then make your 4 shape, pull that through, and then again I'm going to repeat that about 6 more times. Realistically though, it doesn't matter how many of these you make in the end, just as long as when you have it finished, the ends both have the same thing going on, whether the bump be facing upward or facing down. And then at this point, you want to bend it over and check your loop. Make sure that you have it the size that you want it, and I think that is perfect. And now we can go ahead and secure this on our space however you want to do that. Totally up to you. Now finally, to begin the pattern itself, you want to take your sunflower colored strands, which should pretty much already be in the middle, but you can sort of pull that so that it is in the middle, and you are going to tie a knot with these two strands. Now I'm just going to make a forward knot here, but it doesn't matter because they're the same color. And starting on the left side, we're going to take our sunflower strand again, and we are first going to do a backward knot onto the brown and green strands together. Now this part might get a little awkward here, but you want to separate out your green and your brown strands. And you are going to take your yellow colored strand again and do a forward backward knot onto the green. And then we'll leave that alone for now and go onto the right side and repeat that, but mirror it. So take the right strand of your yellow colors, do a forward knot onto the green and brown strand together, and again separate your green and brown strand. And I forgot to mention this, but make sure your brown strands are in the middle. And then we'll take our yellow strand again, do a backward forward knot onto the green strand. And now we are going to work on the middle of our sunflower. So take your middle two brown strands and tie a knot with them. I'm just doing a forward knot here. And then with the left strand of your two browns, do a backward forward knot onto the green strand to the left of it. And then on the right side, you'll take the right brown strand of your two and do a forward backward knot onto the green strand to the right of it. And then once again, take your middle two brown strands and tie a knot with them so that you can close off that middle section. And then we're going to come back to our yellow strands again so that we can make our full sunflower. On the left side, take your yellow strand, do a forward backward knot onto the green strand to the right of it. Now you want to group your green and brown strands together, and you are going to take your yellow strand and do a forward knot onto these two strands together. And then we're going to come to the right side, repeat those steps but mirror them. First take your yellow strand and do a backward forward knot onto the green strand to the left of it. And then, like the other side, group your green and brown strands together and do a backward knot onto them. And then you'll take your middle two yellow strands and make a forward knot. And we have our very adorable sunflower completed. And one thing that Sodapop said in her post was that if your flower is all long and not circular, you can just kind of hold on to your green and brown strands and sort of just push those yellow strands, even the knots down here, so that it kind of rounds out a little bit. And then you can move on to the next step. I don't know if that actually made a difference. So now we are going to work on our stem portion, and this is essentially just making square knots. Take your green strands on both sides and pull them out to the very outermost left and right side. And I do have a full tutorial on how to make square knots for a bracelet, but it is very dated, so really quickly I will just show you guys how to make that here. If you already know how to make a square knot, then you can just breeze right through this. But with our left strand, we are going to make a 4 shape over our base strands. Then take your right green strand, put that over, and then bring the strand underneath all of the strings on this side, and pull it through the loop on the left from underneath, and then just pull that through. And then you'll repeat that with the right side, make a P shape. Take the left strand and put it over top that strand. Go underneath all of the strands, pull it through the loop from underneath, and pull that through. And that is a full square knot. And also with this, you can make it as long as you want it to be. But I would probably suggest, because this sunflower is so dainty and small, I wouldn't make the stem too incredibly long. On Sodapop's post, she actually suggests to make 3 square knots, which might be too short for my taste, but let's go ahead and try it out and see how that looks. Yeah, I don't really like how short that is, so I am just going to make a couple more square knots and then kind of reassess the situation. Yeah, I think I like that way more. But of course, this is going to be personal preference. You can make this as long or as short as you want it to be. But I think 5 square knots is perfect. That is really how you work up this whole chain. When you want to make the next sunflower, just make sure that you have your strings equally divided and mirrored with each other. And then you'll just start from this timestamp here and work it up exactly that way and keep working it up until you have your chain as long as you want it to be. So Sodapop mentioned a specific way that you can end this when you want to make your ties, but for my chain, I really just went off the stem and made 2 braids and called it good. You can make twisted ties if you want to, you can do literally whatever you want to, but going off the stem and just immediately braiding the ends is probably going to be the quickest and easiest way. But again, that is completely up to you. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I know that it has been a while since I have posted a video from this one, but it's hard to get the inspiration lately. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this one today, and I will see you in the next one.